What is going on, my roundtable family? The Houston Texans season came to an end on Saturday to the Kansas City Chiefs. Final score 23-14. And man, this one hurt. You felt like your defense did enough to keep you in this matchup, but your offense just could not get it going when it needed to. And then, of course, we have to talk about the officiating crew, how bad they were. But first, this episode is brought to you and powered by BetUS. They're giving you a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. On your second and third deposit, it's 125% promo bonus. Promo code YouTube150 gets that for you guys. Quick 24-hour payouts, 24-hour customer service. BetUS, where the game begins. Now, whose fault is it? Is it the referees? In my opinion, no, but they did play a factor. If you're asking me what are the reasons why the Houston Texans lost this game, well, the first glaring one is the offensive line. C.J. Stroud sacked 8 times. C.J. Stroud hit 14 times. That's not a recipe of success. Before the game, entering the week, we heard that Shaq Mason was back at practice, that Shaq Mason was trending towards playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this had a lot of Houston Texans fans worried because Shaq Mason is having one of his worst seasons statistically. Shaq Mason, even though we love his experience in the playoffs, a Super Bowl winning guard with not only New England but Tampa Bay also, he just doesn't got it no more. So we were saying the one thing we don't want to see for this offensive line on Saturday is Shaq Mason on right guard. And boom, the Houston Texans started him. I said leave Juice Scruggs in at right guard. The past 2 weeks, this feels like you've got some of your better offensive line play all season. I wonder why the Houston Texans decided to go back to Shaq Mason, because that was the first domino. In my opinion, how many of us got upset? How many of us looked at our phones when we got the notification and just went like, what are we doing? We knew the best 5 offensive linemen out there were Laramie Tunsil, Titus Howard, Jared Patterson, Juice Scruggs, and Blake Fisher. Now we go into the offseason needing a whole new offensive line. You are going to need an offensive line coach because according to Aaron Wilson, Chris Strausser was contemplating retirement before this season. Why was he even allowed to stay, in my opinion? But the Houston Texans will be needing a new O-line coach next season and might be needing 2 to 3 new starters on the line. But their performance all season was just pitiful. C.J. Stroud was the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. There was a 3 to 4 game stretch where he faced a career high in pressure every single week. How do you want your young franchise quarterback to flourish in that situation? That's why when you heard of a lot of outside noise saying, oh, CJ's house, is having a sophomore slump. And I do agree that there was a point this year where we were talking about that with CJ Stroud. But I told y'all that what led up to this was this offensive line's inability to protect him and this offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, inability to put a good game plan this season for the Houston Texans. The entire offense, guys, to be honest with you, was just a joke. It wasn't the 5-headed monster that we thought it was going to be, and we found that out early. Even when the Houston Texans offense had Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell healthy, it didn't feel like this offense was explosive, which is why we were so excited coming into this season.
This stream is being powered by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 using code YouTube150. If you're looking for a new sportsbook, BetUS is where you want to be. Right now, the AFC and NFC championship odds are up on the site. Also, Super Bowl coin toss is already the first prop available All right. So make sure you go check it out right now on BetUS. All right. Now, it's not just the sports book, but it also has the casino where you can play slots, blackjack, the tables, and so much more. And it also has Racebook and BetUS TV, where you can watch some of your favorite sports shows Monday through Friday on BetUS TV. Almost every sport is represented, so do not miss out. But again, right now, I want you to take advantage of the 150% sign up bonus using code YouTube150. All right. Supporting the sponsors is supporting the channel here at Roundtable Sports.
But the offensive line was just a huge issue. Why your season didn't go the way you wanted to, and why you lost on Saturday against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, George Karlaftis had 3 sacks. You know who was in charge of protecting them? Your tight end, Dalton Schultz. I mean, after the first one, you're thinking, maybe we shouldn't do that again. After the second sack, you're thinking, we definitely don't need to do that again. But yet, you tried it one more time, and it resulted in a sack. Just unaware. And that's where I look at the coaching staff and say, what were you doing? When C.J. Stroud was just running for his life consistently. Now, you got to give credit to the Kansas City Chiefs defense and, defensive coordinator Spags, Hall of Fame, in my opinion. You got Chris Jones just wreaking havoc up the middle. The offensive line, they just got beat. One of the reasons why your season wasn't what we thought it was going to be, and one of the reasons why you lost on Saturday. I think the second biggest reason was your special teams having its worst day of the season. Just the week prior against the Los Angeles Chargers, you had a blocked punt, you had a blocked extra point that resulted in 2. Special teams was one of the reasons why you won against the Los Angeles Chargers, and it was one of the reasons why you lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. You have the opening kickoff return. Gives the Kansas City Chiefs great field position. You also get a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. Now, it resulted in only 3 points, thank God, because your defense was that good. You have Kaimi Fairbairn, a top-paid kicker in the NFL. Indoors, he's money. Outdoors, he's not. A missed field goal and a missed extra point. Now, when you really think about the future of Kaimi Fairbairn, you're going to have to either go through Kansas City, Buffalo, or Baltimore. All 3 of those stadiums are outdoors. Do we trust Kaimi Fairbairn going into next season? I mean, I think indoors, absolutely. Outside, not a chance. Even when he's indoors, there's still some inconsistencies in regards to extra points. But, what a way for this special teams to end their season, because Kaimi Fairbairn, Tommy Townsend, our punter, Pro Bowl alternates. And hey, Tommy Townsend, a former Kansas City Chiefs, knows what it's like to punt in Arrowhead, and had an opportunity to pin them deep and give this defense one final chance to, give the ball back to the offense so that we can tie up the football game in 35 yards. Just horrible. So I say the offensive line and the special teams are the biggest reasons why the Houston Texans lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Then when you want to bring up the officiating, and D'Amico Ryans was upset about it, Joe Mixon was, every Houston Texan player had something to say about the officials. And it's warranted. You look at the 2 roughing the passer calls. I'll give you the first one. I'll give you Will Anderson Jr. The second one with the 2 defensive players hit themselves, absolutely not. You had Patrick Mahomes running up the right side, and Danielle Hunter is trying to, close the lane and tackle Pat Mahomes, but Jerron Taylor is holding him, and you see Danielle Hunter jump up, wave his hands to get the, official's attention. Doesn't happen. But yeah, I think 2 series later, it's the exact same situation where C.J. Stroud is running. Flag on the play. Pat Mahomes, him flirting with the sideline, trying to, get that 15-yard penalty. And I'm going to say this, somebody, now I'm not saying it's going to be the Houston Texans, and I'm not saying someone should do this, but someone's going to end up just knocking the hell out of Pat Mahomes if he continues to, tiptoe on the sideline. And then seeing him flop just right after just made me laugh. You never want to think the officials play a part of it until it starts happening to you. Like I said, the referees were not the reasons why the Houston Texans lost, but man, they sure affected it. You talk about the moments where I believe it was Xavier Hutchinson or John Mechie. It was a 3rd and 9. Would have been a first down, but the Houston Texans were marked short. The hip drop tackle on Dalton Schultz, not called. And that's 3 hip drop tackles not called against the Houston Texans. 2 on Joe Mixon and 1 on Dalton Schultz. But you knew that going into the game, which is why you always hear the saying from, boxers, do not leave it up to the judges. The Houston Texans, we said they need to go in, put the foot on the gas, but that's not what happened. The Kansas City Chiefs showed you why they're the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and they're on pace to get to their 3rd, which would be NFL history. Ladies and gentlemen, the Houston Texans season came to an end on Saturday against Kansas City. 23-14 was your final score. This episode is brought to you and powered by BetUS. Shout out to the Roundtable Network allowing me to come on here, talk Houston Texans football. Do me all a favor, guys. You have a real blessed rest of your day.
This video is powered by BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150 to get your 150% sign-up bonus. Start playing today with an exclusive offer. Shout out to BetUS for being the proud sponsor of Roundtable Sports.